Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode with New Indian Express. I am your host, Noor Anand Chawla, and today we will be speaking to an iconic person, Kiran Nadar, who has made a name for herself in many roles, but especially in that of Indian art. But let me introduce her to you first. Now, Kiran Nadar has had an immense influence on the Indian art world. Through her vision, consistent efforts, and unfailing enthusiasm, she has given India a global platform that showcases and promotes Indian art. And this platform, of course, is the Kiran Nadar Museum of Art in Delhi. Established in 2010, the Kiran Nadar Museum of Art is India's first private art museum that aims to exemplify the dynamic relationship between arts and culture, platforming India's most talented artists and bridging the gap between art and the public at large through exhibitions, publications, educational, and public programs. KNMA, as it's better known, is a not-for-profit organization that works on a model strictly non-commercial. Mrs. Nadar has not only established KNMA as an exhibition platform for new art forms, thereby ensuring art's accessibility to people, but has also driven dynamic outreach programs to nurture a museum-going culture among India's youth. The museum, under her guidance and vision, has registered a strong presence in the Indian art community and increased visibility on the international art scene. And some of the astounding key achievements since its inception include 5,000 plus works of art in its collection and over 100 international exhibitions and art exchange programs since 2010. So welcome, Mrs. Nadar. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us today. And today, of course, we'll be speaking about what the KNMA is up to in the run-up to the India Art Fair, very coveted exhibition after the pandemic and, the unfortunate postponement for the last couple of years. So please tell us, before we even talk about the India Art Fair, how did you decide to venture into art? That's an unusual space for Indian women, for lack of a better term to express it.
No, I think it was just because I was collecting for the home, but the collection grew, and I decided that there was a lack of private initiative in the museum space, and I think it was needed. I mean, I think it's important for the private sector also to come in and do, if they have a collection, if they can show it, if they can show it to people, get people more interested in art. I think we have a certain responsibility. So it really stemmed from that. I never really imagined that it would be such a large endeavor, that it would become such a large endeavor. But you know how things, you start with an idea that it's going to be something small and intimate, and then it grows, and then things take over. So that's the way it's happened. So today, actually, you're wrong. We have about 8,000 works, not 5,000.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. That's an even
No
more astounding number. Wonderful.
Yeah, it is. And I have really collected pretty extensively in the last 6 or 7 years. That's when the collection has really grown. So once the museum has become a reality, my collecting has also grown.
Wonderful. So actually, just out of curiosity, what is the first work that you bought for yourself to add to your personal collection, and what drew you to it?
Okay, the first work I bought for my house, like I said, I bought 3 artists. I bought Hussain, I bought Rameshwar Bhuta, and I bought Manjeet Baba. Oh. So quite disparate and different, but these were the 3 artists I first bought. And also, sorry, there was one more. That was, no, actually, these 3 were the ones that were really, Krishan Khanna was also, I had bought a work of Krishan Khanna. So actually, these are the 4 artists that I would really like to stress on initially.
Wonderful. And they've actually been part of your collections for, since the years that you started. And that's
yes, they've been with me. Well, I bought them in 1989. So that's really a long, long time.
Absolutely. Over 30 years. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also know you as a fierce advocate of Indian art and artists through your museum and other initiatives. So, what measures did you adopt during the pandemic to offer continued support and encouragement to them?
It was a very tough time, but it was important that we continue doing. So we did a lot of things on the virtual space. A lot of our exhibitions that we had shown, we got them into sort of a 360-degree and showed them. Then we had art and fashion. We had art with different spheres, with cooking, with different spheres. We tried to inculcate so that we could grow everybody was really at their wits' end of how to live their lives in this sort of very strange, paradoxical situation that had come upon us. I think we all faced different journeys at that time. And it was important for us to continue the museum and show certain events so people could at least see that aspect. So we showed some of the shows that we had run earlier, but we reworked them and showed them. Of course, we did a lot of programming. We did a lot of, so we had a lot of viewership and people interested. In fact, a lot of people got interested in what we were doing, how the music was going. And I think it was a good journey, but a tough journey.
Right.
Because we hadn't really done such a large virtual program before. This was all we were learning as we were going along.
But thankfully, things are back to normal, so to speak.
Yes, thankfully, hopefully, fingers crossed that we don't have another. Now looking at what's happening in China, 13 provinces are in lockdown. So, these are frightening things that, God forbid, we shouldn't be faced with any such dilemma. But so far, it's so good. Yeah.
Yes, let's hope for the best. And perhaps you will continue in a hybrid manner if needed, right?
Well, we will certainly have a hybrid manner, but we are so happy to be able to open the museum.
Absolutely.
And so we're starting, our programming again, and lots of planning, lots of shows. Maybe I should tell you a bit about them as we go along.
Yes, definitely. All right. So actually, let's just touch on that now. In the run up to the India Art Fair, I believe you have month-long plans. So what can the audience?
Okay. So on the 22nd of this month, we're opening with two shows. One is Atul Dudia. He worked on watercolors during the pandemic.
Oh.
He did virtually one watercolor day.
Oh my God.
So he did it for a year. So there are roughly 300 and some odd works. We're showing 170 of those works. So, everybody wanted to know how artists reacted to the pandemic. And this is a personal experience of a really well-known artist, how he reacted to the pandemic, how he worked in his studio, how he put his thought. So it's a very moving show. It shows how one individual reacted and an important artist did that. And along with him, we are having a show of an artist who was part of the Chola Mandalam movement, Ramanujam. Right. He is an artist who has never really been shown in a big scale. We are showing a large body of his work. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting for people. Although, most art people who know art know Ramanujam well, but nobody's seen such a large body of work. So we have a large collection which I had acquired, and we're showing that. We're also taking some loans. So we are showing these two shows which open the 22nd of March. So they will run a month ahead of the art fair. Of course, they will continue during the art fair as well.
Right.
At the art fair, we are showing at Saket two shows. One is a Somnath Hor retrospective. It is 100 years of Somnath Hor this year. So well, Somnath Hor is an artist that I have collected in depth. He's very important for me because I have collected both his paperworks as well as his sculptures. So we're having a retrospective of Somnath Hor. And along with that, we are having the French Embassy is doing a show in collaboration with KNMA on 75 years of our independence. This is a show which is, it's a photographic show, which is being curated by Raha Balana. So they had come to us maybe a year ago, or maybe a little longer, when pandemic was raging, and said that, we want to do this. And at that time, the art fair was going to be in end of January.
Right.
So that's when it was planned for. And they said, we'd like to do this, and the only place we want to do it is at KNMA. So can you give us a space? So we've given them a very large space as part of this show. So I haven't seen it all. But I have seen images. So I'm quite excited to see it myself. So the two shows will open together on the 27th of April evening.
Right.
That is the day before the art fair. The art fair opens on 28th. We always do the evening before. Right. That is the KNMA spot. And along with that, we're doing another show on Raza. It is also 100 years of Raza's. It's also his 100 years this year. And there was meant to be a show in Paris, which was scheduled for this year, but unfortunately, in fact, scheduled for last year. Unfortunately, it got postponed because of the pandemic. And they say they're going to have it next year, but it's all in the air. We don't know if it's going to take place. So we thought we should do it. So we've taken a space at Beacon Air House, not the two buildings that exist. They have a third place, which they are giving us. So we have rented that space, and we're going to show this particular show, which is mainly works from our collection, but maybe some important works on loan, which if we have.
Okay, lots to look forward to. So
there's a lot happening.
Yes, but each of these artists are very, distinctive. So how did you decide on these particular artists and perhaps not others?
Well, Atul was because I think the pandemic, and they approached us that this was an important show which should be shown. And I really like Atul. Even as a human being, I think he's really somebody important, and as an artist. So when they brought the proposal to us, I thought it was a really good way of showing that what people did during the pandemic. So that's how the Atul show happened. Ramanujam happened because we realized that this collection was so important and nobody had seen it. And so it just felt that let's do something unusual that, people have not seen before. Ramanujam has not really been seen. So we did quite a lot of research. We sent somebody to the Cholamandalam school to find out more details. And so it's an unusual artist to show. But I think it's going to be very exciting for people to see what we can achieve. Somnath Hor, of course, is an artist who I have shown before. It's not the first time. We had a show of his with Meena Mukherjee. But being his 100th year this year, it seemed appropriate. And also he dealt with, so many situations of hunger, things in Bengal, like the famine,
I mean,
poverty. He dealt with very, very important issues. And putting them up for people to see, I think is important these days. So that's how the Somnath Hall show was put into place. And then, of course, the French embassy we had this collaboration, which I think is very important to do. And we would like to actually do more work on the 75th 75th anniversary of our independence. So all these things have sort of come into place. And uh, Mr. Raza is somebody who is one of the greatest artists India's had, part of the Progressives group. And so it just seemed that it showed the variety the museum has, the kind of that we don't believe in one genre of work. We support all the various art forms. And so that's really how it fructified. I don't think there was anything, they just fell into place.
Right. Wonderful. So, I mean, I believe that you're having one of them at Bikaner House, as you mentioned. Is that the first time that you have ventured out of your own beautiful space?
No, not really. We have had shows out of Delhi, okay, in various places. We had a show in Patna. We had at the museum there. We had a show at Jawahar Kala Kendra in Jaipur. And so we have had, and of course we are supposed to do something with the museum, the Shivaji Museum in Bombay.
Right.
Mrs. Abdisachi, we were meant to do a show there, but then everything there got postponed because of COVID. So, and apart from that, of course, we have done shows abroad. We have, and we were in the process of planning a really, really large show, which was supposed to open on the 27th of May, okay, in Moscow. And we have worked on this particular show for the last 3 years.
Wow.
But unfortunately, in the circumstances, we've had to cancel it. We were showing 164 works of Indian contemporary modern art.
Oh no.
164. And it was at the Tetrakov, it was meant to be at the Tetrakov Museum in Moscow. And everything was tied up. But then, this is what happens. We can't now obviously not have it. And in all honesty, I don't think I would want to do something in Moscow in these circumstances.
Absolutely. But perhaps we can expect to see it in another country or another space in the coming.
Yes. So we're trying to talk to people that can we do, we can't do such a large show somewhere else because the space needed is colossal. Right. But we can truncate it and do parts of it. So we are starting dialogues. And hopefully we'll be able to take it to some different form to different places.
Right. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah, there is.
Let's speak about the India Art Fair. So in India Art Fair 2022, how is it different from its previous iterations and what can we look forward to?
You know what? I just came back from Dubai. I had gone to the Dubai Art Fair. And what was the nicest thing was being able to meet people, being able to see art. And the quality of art, good, bad, and different, wasn't really the importance. What was important is being able to navigate, meet people, even socially, even going in the evening, going out for dinner. It was such a great experience. I had missed it for so long that my 2 days in Dubai were fantastic. Oh, so I hope that with the Indian Art Fair, a lot of the Indian galleries, most of the Indian galleries are participating. The Western and galleries from abroad, I think will be less. I think, I do know of a couple of galleries which are not coming because of obvious reasons. But, but the ones who are coming, there's a particular gallery from Berlin which is coming, and few of the galleries are coming.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be smaller than other years.
Mhm.
I think the number of people who will be visiting will be less than other years, but I think it's a start. And after virtually 3 years of
Right.
no art fair,
Yeah.
and so many times planning it and then it getting cancelled, and so I think even for the galleries, it's really an important event. So I'm really looking forward to it, and to my mind, I think there's going to be very interesting things to see,
Oh,
because everyone who's participating is really going all out to do something special and show special stuff. And all that.
to make up for the lost 3 years, so to speak.
Yeah, it really for art and for artists, it has really been tough.
Absolutely.
Really been tough.
Okay, so lots to look forward to. We are also as excited as you. And of course, you have touched on some of your future exhibitions as well, but anything specific that you're working on that you'd like to talk about that you haven't mentioned yet? We would love to know.
Okay. There's the most important thing that I haven't mentioned is we're in the process of building a standalone museum,
Okay.
which is going to be it's opposite the Aerocity. It's
Oh,
on the NH8,
a new space.
and it's an 8-acre plot. We
Wonderful.
had the groundbreaking 4 days ago, 5 days ago,
Congratulations.
and the architect is Sir David Adjei, who is one of the foremost architects in the world today. So we are starting construction, and we hope to have it ready in 3 years. So that is a really major plan that is very exciting. This particular space is going to be a museum and a cultural center, but it's going to be under the aegis of the museum. We want to keep one name so there's no confusion.
Absolutely.
So the cultural center is going to look at maybe theater, music, dance, other forms of art, both from India and Western. So Western performances. In fact, I had a very good meeting with A.R. Rahman in Dubai.
Oh,
I would like him to do something for us, and he's agreeable. So these aspects are going to be something that's going to really be in the next, well, it's 3 years. It's a long time to wait, but it's something that's very, very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds wonderful. And congratulations on the groundbreaking. And we're all very excited to see how it plays out. All right,
Yeah.
Ms. Nadar, thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to leave the audience with lots to look forward to, including the 2 exhibitions that are due to start on the 22nd of March itself. That's of Atul Dodia and of Ramanujam. Do check them out if you're in Delhi. All details will be listed with this video. And thank you so much once again for joining us, Mrs. Nadar. It was a pleasure speaking to you. And this is...
Thank you so much, Noor.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
This is
Bye.
Anand Chavla signing off.